Thank you for listening to the video explainer for my poster entitled Spatial and Kinematic Influences on Arousal and Valence Judgments from Dynamic Facial Emotion Expressions. So we know that movement provides an important cue about others' emotions. So from whole body movement, we know that anger and happiness is associated with high speed movement, while sadness is associated with low speed movement. However, much of the facial emotion domain really focuses on spatial features such as action units, as opposed to thinking about kinematic or temporal features. Some of my more recent research, however, has extended this into facial emotion expressions, whereby as the kinematic cue speed increases for angry and happy expressions, we see improving facial emotion accuracy. However, as we increase the speed of a sad expression, we see decreasing emotion perception accuracy. But what's still unknown is how these spatial and temporal features impact on arousal and valence judgments. And that's the aim of the current experiment. We use the same point light display face stimuli from our previous work, which show dynamic facial emotion expressions. Here you can see an example of an anger expression, followed by a happy expression, and finally, a sad expression. And we asked individuals to rate each one of these stimuli 108 times for arousal, valence, and emotion, whether happy, angry, or sad. And you can see the scales on the screen here. 58 individuals took part in this experiment, completing 108 trials. And within this, we had both a kinematic manipulation or a speed manipulation and a spatial manipulation across 3 different levels. So both decreasing and increasing speed and decreasing and increasing the spatial exaggeration. For the arousal data, we see a main effect of spatial and kinematic manipulation, whereby across all emotions, you see that increasing both the spatial exaggeration and increasing the speed of the expression leads to higher arousal ratings. However, for valence ratings, in terms of our spatial manipulation, we see that for both angry and sad expressions, increasing the exaggeration of the spatial extent of the movement leads to more negative valence ratings. And increasing spatial extent for happy expressions actually leads to positive valence ratings. For the kinematic manipulation, as you increase the speed of those expressions, we see that for both happy and sad expressions, this leads to overall more positive valence ratings. And we saw no effect of the manipulation on valence ratings for angry expressions. So this leads us to conclude that spatial and kinematic features of facial expressions do provide really important cues for the judgment of arousal and valence. And whilst increasing spatial and kinematic manipulations have the same effect on arousal ratings across emotions, we actually see that these manipulations impact valence ratings depending on the emotion being displayed in the video. Thank you very much for listening, and please do come and check out my poster and ask me any further questions you may have.